Hello, my name is Chelsea Moles. I'm currently a high school drama teacher. However, I'm here to chat to you a little bit about all of the jobs I had in the creative industries before I became a drama teacher. So I first was an actor at the Edinburgh Dungeon, and I was an actor there for 5 years before I got promoted to the performance supervisor at the Edinburgh Dungeon. I was also a tour guide at the Real Mary King's Close in Edinburgh, and throughout all of that time, as I was doing those jobs, I was also a youth theatre workshop facilitator. So that's just a really long name for someone who teaches drama in quite a casual setting, so it's not like a school, it's more like a drama club. And I taught children from the ages of about 5 to 6 all the way up to 17 or 18. So my love for drama started quite young. When I was about 7 or 8, I was part of a drama club who performed drama shows. We started with the musical Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, but my real love and interest and passion for drama, and when I really started to figure out that it was what I definitely wanted to do when I was an adult, kind of began in around 3rd year or 4th year, I would say. So I'd obviously picked drama in 3rd year, and then I took it forward into National 5, and it was when I was in those years in school that I started to be involved in school shows and any sort of like Christmas concerts, anything I could do that revolved around drama and performing. I really did do. I really put my all into it, and that's when I really started to realise that this wasn't just a hobby for me, this wasn't just something that I liked doing, it's something that I wanted to do every day for the rest of my life. So yeah, that's where my real passion and love for drama kind of started. So I was incredibly lucky that I went to a high school that offered tons of opportunities to people who were interested in drama. So I began by taking a National 5 in drama, then a higher, and then an advanced higher. But alongside all of this, I was also able to take an NPA course in musical theatre, an NPA in acting and performance, and I was also able to take a wider achievement short course in theatre and education. So theatre and education is basically just educating people on a topic, but through theatre and through performing. So that was in school, that was my education in school. And then afterwards, I was certain that I wanted to study drama, and I was certain that I wanted to go to university. So I ended up going to Queen Margaret University, which is in Musselburgh, so it's just outside of Edinburgh. And this was a 4-year course, and the course basically started off introducing you to all of the basics of drama. So acting, performance, script writing, storytelling, and then the further into the course you got, the more choice you had. So you were able to specialise in things. You got to choose some of your modules. So you could choose things like set design, costume design, lighting, playwriting, or like me, you could choose things like community theatre or children's theatre. So Queen Margaret University was the perfect choice for me because it offered a wide choice of things to learn about. So I wanted a wide range of knowledge because the end goal for me was to become a drama teacher. So Queen Margaret ended up being the perfect university. I mentioned at the start of this video that I had quite a lot of jobs in the creative industries, but I'm just going to focus on one right now, and that is when I was the performance supervisor at the Edinburgh Dungeon. So working at the Edinburgh Dungeon was one of the best experiences of my life. I worked there for 7 years in total, but as the performance supervisor, I'm just going to talk you through a little bit about what my day would look like. So as a performance supervisor, you were obviously trained on all of the shows and trained to operate the rides in the building, because there was a drop ride and there used to be a boat ride in the Edinburgh Dungeon as well. So you got trained on all of those when you were an actor, but as the performance supervisor, I had some extra responsibilities. So you would go into the building about an hour and a half before all of the actors would arrive that day, I had to make the rota for the day, so you weren't just stuck on one show at the Edinburgh Dungeon if you were an actor. There's 12 shows in total, and you would spend about an hour on each show each day. So you wouldn't get all 12 in a day, but you might get maybe 3 or 4, and your time would be spread across all of those shows. So I was the one who created the rota. If it was a quiet day in the dungeon, there'd only be about 13 actors in, so I just had to basically organise their day and decide when they were going to be on what show. But if it was a super busy day, like during August when the Edinburgh Fringe Festival is on, we could have up to 30 actors in. So that's when it became a little bit more challenging to create rotas and to make sure that no one was on one show for too long, or no one had a slightly easier day to someone else, because the job could be incredibly tiring as an actor. Not just on your body, but on your voice. You were talking all day. So once the rota was created, I had to put out the costumes for every actor. So every actor had a little hook on the wall, and I would hang up their costumes, so their size, their costumes for their shows, so that throughout the day, as they were moving from show to show, they could just walk past their hook and pick it up really easily. Now, there would be days when I was a performance supervisor where I would also be performing. So sometimes I would do all of that in the morning. I would make sure all of the actors were in, they were ready, they were in their makeup looked correct and accurate for the show that they were going to be performing in. And then I'd have to do my own makeup and get into my own costume and then jump onto whatever show I was doing that day. So there's days like that. But there was also days where I had a little bit more responsibility when it came to the performers or the actors' health and well-being, or making sure that things ran smoothly, like people getting from one show to another without leaving a show with no actor. So there was tons and tons of responsibilities in this job, but it was still super duper fun. I still got the fun side of performing in the Edinburgh Dungeon as well. So it's a job that I absolutely adored. If I was to focus on the Edinburgh Dungeon job, then I would say the biggest challenge for that is like constant change. When you're a performer in the Edinburgh Dungeon, you have groups of up to 32 people every 7 minutes. So you're performing a show every 7 minutes, and you don't know who's going to come through that door. It could be a school group with lots of teenagers. It could be a mixed group where there's someone as old as 80 and then someone as young as like 7. And there's a lot of change happening all the time. And as a performer, you have to adapt. You have to be able to just go with the flow and change your show or adapt little things or improvise to fit that audience that was in front of you. Now, that's a huge, huge challenge for any performer, but especially in the Edinburgh Dungeon. And it was also the same for my tour guiding job at the Real Mary King's Close. We took huge groups of tourists around historical sites, and exactly like the Edinburgh Dungeon, we had no idea who our guests were going to be. So we really had to adapt and change, and we didn't really have much time to plan that. We had to just do it as it was happening, which is a huge challenge. So as I mentioned earlier, there is constant change in the creative industries, and this change happens really, really quickly. So I think the number one skill that anyone who's looking at a potential career in the creative industry should have is the ability to adapt to situations and to adapt really quickly to situations and kind of work with what you've got. Now, alongside that, I believe you have to have confidence in yourself and confidence in your ability. So not just confidence whilst you're performing, but confidence in anything that you do. You have to be able to say that you're good at lighting design, or say that you're good at directing, for people to look at you and go, wow, she's really good at directing, or she's really good at performing. The final skill I think is super important is resilience. So in the creative industries, you might pitch the most amazing idea and you think it's definitely going to get through and you're definitely going to do really well, and then someone might be there and they might say no. That doesn't mean that you completely give up on that idea or give up on that goal. You just have to get back up, dust yourself off, and go to the next person and pitch that idea all over again. It's something that happens all the time in the creative industries, whether you are auditioning or pitching ideas, like I said, or applying for jobs. There's constant no's, or the opportunity for someone to say no, and it's quite easy for that to get people down. So being resilient is a huge skill that someone who would like a career in the creative industries should have. So my biggest achievement to date is probably becoming a drama teacher. So I had to go back to university to do that. I had to do a PGDE in education, in drama education, and I completed that last year. I started it last year and I graduated this year, and I am in my probation year right now. So that's probably my biggest achievement in the creative industries to date. My biggest personal goal that I want to achieve probably within the next 5 years is to own and run my own youth theatre group or theatre company. So I would like to own a company that performs amateur musicals or amateur plays for young people. My biggest piece of advice for anyone who's looking for a career in the creative industries is to just keep going. There are times where this is going to feel super hard and you're going to have to be really resilient and you're going to have the ability to adapt and keep going, because eventually you will get what you want to get. You will achieve that goal that you have set for yourself. So just keep going.